It is a great pleasure to be here. Mr. Narendra Surana, Chairman, requested me, and I said, okay, I will try my best. And though I was held up a little bit, I'm happy to be with you here. I am very thankful to Mr. Motilal, also to Mr. Gautam Vemali, then Mr. Bharat, and my colleague, Mrs. Revati, and all the members of this great organization who have come here in such large numbers. Because even people, we try to get people on our own, we find it very difficult to in our awareness camps and all, but seeing you, all of you, the room being so full, I am really very, very heartened to see this. So everybody has spoken a lot about GST. Maybe I am the least experienced person in GST. Because, you know, I joined only on, I think, 1st of November 2016. So very little, or not even November, I think December, 1st of December. So already the whole state and the country was reeling under this impact of 8th November night. So everybody was so worried, and that time I was given this responsibility. So I tried to understand, and I must tell you that I feel very fortunate. Why? Because almost next meeting is the 15th meeting of GST Council. And I almost attended 10 of them, 11 of them, last one being in Srinagar. So when I saw the entire room, which was full of all the finance ministers or the ministers responsible for GST and our union finance minister, the whole team, my thought went back to, you know, how the country would have framed our constitution. It is to me looking like just the Constituent Assembly, where every country is, people from different parts of the country sat together and decided. And I also realized how varied is our country, how unique is our country. So there is a small state with very little population, and there is such a huge state which has such a huge population. And also I was amazed that somebody says that the size of the consignment should be minimum 1 lakh, then only you should go for e-way bill. At the same time, one state comes and tells, no, we cannot take it more than 5,000. So see the variation, where is 5,000 and where is, a lakh? And ultimately we got 50,000. So that is the kind of thinking. And I thought, can this, we have seen how people fight, even in a village. And there will no time people will come together. And I thought, can this body, which is so varied, with so much of political colors, with so many other dimensions, can they come to a consensus? And I was really surprised. Every time the entire country was coming to a consensus, a common decision, and we could resolve such issues, which I thought will take days and maybe months to resolve it. Even the issue of what should be the rate, whether it should be 0 rated or 5 or 12 or 18 or 28, I thought it will be such a big fight. But people could find ways of coming to a consensus and agreeing to what rate will be there. So this is the background which I think that India is really moving toward something which is really going to change India. Because if people from different states with different political ideologies and can come together and agree for doing something so difficult, which has taken more than, the first talk started in 2004 very seriously. So after 13 years also, it has taken so much of time to come here. So I thought that, I think there is a change and people really want to make a big difference. Now let me talk about, all of you must have heard, must have read that what is GST, so I need not talk. But I would definitely like to make some points which I feel are the essence of GST. The first one is, it is based on a principle of trust. It is self-regulatory. And that is what it distinguishes us, this GST Act and this whole taxation from others. When one can talk that, okay, it is consumption-based and all those kind of things. But what makes it very unique, that it puts a lot of faith on the business community, the traders, the industrialists. And the whole idea is that perhaps we need to give them a chance, and if given a chance, with proper system, everybody will do their business properly. This is the whole belief of this thing, I feel. And therefore, I feel that Make in India and those things which we have been dreaming, which we have been thinking, will become a reality. And therefore, employment will grow, and I sometimes feel that the GDP will even grow more than 2%, which everybody thinks that, okay, it will increase from 7 or around 7 to 9, but I feel that it may go even much beyond our expectations. When I have traveled from one state to another, wherever I go on the borders, such huge queues, long queues of vehicles. I talked to some people from Gati and other these who are in the logistics, and they tell me that nowhere it takes less than 4 to 5 hours. If it is very fast, it takes 4 hours. And the problem is that the checking and all that formality does not happen in one side. It happens in one side, and when you cross to the other side of the state, again it happens. And they told me that in certain places, if the server is down, it takes even days, 2-3 days. So think how efficient we will become when there will be no check post on particularly the commercial tax. And the state government has also decided and made a small task group, which I am a very active member, to see how we can even remove these even from other angles of, say, transport, excise, and forest. All those kind of things will also be something which will make a big difference. So please try to imagine how the whole country will look when it gets into what is known as one tax, one nation, and one market. The whole economy is going to go for a big change, is what I really feel. Further, if you look at earlier, lot of harassment, because everything was based on some individual, some officer, some official. Now that comes down so significantly that sometimes I tell my departmental officers that, what is your role? I keep on challenging them, tell me what is your role? Because now registration happens, payment happens, refunds happen. Most of the things do not need interference or interface with the officers. Maybe, and therefore, in the act itself, they made it very clear, or in the rules, that there won't be more than 5% audit. So all these are basically indications that this is going to be a much better and efficient system where everybody can develop their business and you don't have to fall into any restrictions. And maybe you will also realize, most of us realize, that we don't have to go for any wrong ways of dealing, because the act itself makes it very simple and easy for everybody. Now, coming to what is going to change. And I find the real difference will be because of what is known as GSTN. Everybody knows GST, N is network. I will give you some figures which are going to be very startling. The first one is, every day, this system will generate as many as 12 crores minimum, 12 crores invoices. You can think, 12 crore invoices. In a month, 350 crores of invoices will be generated through this system. On this system, more than 90 lakh dealers will be working. and everything becomes in a very easy manner. Even all of you will get a little worried also that earlier you were filing one return per month. Now it becomes how many? Annually you will be filing 37. 3 per month, and those dates are also fixed. 10, 12, 15. This is correct? Or? Yes. That is the days. And if you are into something else, there may be more. And one annual. But I don't want to frighten you. What I want to tell you is, though it is 3, but everything happens automatically. Once you enter, and it keeps on getting auto-populated. But what it brings is self-regulation. All of you will be rated. The rating will be how tax compliant or how good you are doing. And people are not going to do business with people who are low in their rating on GST. Everybody would only like to deal with people who do fair business. Because if you do business with a person who does not pay tax or does something fraud or something, you are going to be hit because you are not going to get the ITC or input tax credit. And the whole thing gets matched based on what information you have given and the other person has given, and all this happens in a very smooth manner. And therefore, we are actually going through a great change, which I don't think there is any parallel of GST and GSTN in anywhere in the world at such a large scale, I can tell you. Now, what do we do? See, the first thing is that all of you should migrate. And that is very simple. Most of you must have done because all of you are bigger people in the sense of turnovers. But those who have not done and you know their relatives, your friends and others, please tell them to get it done. So anybody who has more than 20 lakh annual turnover or who falls in some specific category like CST, etc., they should get enrolled. And I think everybody should try and get enrolled rather than keeping outside of GST. Because if you really want to grow, it will become like, a very prestigious thing that this is my GSTIN number. So that is important that everybody should get enrolled. We are finding some problems. The problem was that in Aadhaar, when you gave a different number. That phone number does not exist. And then if you want to go, you have to go here and there, and that was creating a problem. Therefore, now in all our offices, all our 12 DC offices, we have got a Aadhaar counter, which will start from Monday, hopefully. And you are the only person who will be handled there. So all of you, I request to make use of this facility. The next thing regarding migration is that this will happen, but you should be ready. The window will again open from 1st of June till 15th of June. But if you try to do those things on those days alone, you may be lagging behind. So my suggestion will be that you need to, whatever documents are there, our people have told you, you can see on the web, it is also known. Those documents please scan and keep it ready so that uploading becomes easy. Our people, all our CTOs, all our DCs, all of them are willing to help you in that regard if there is any problem. Then everybody has to move to e-sign, and the bigger corporates have to go to DSC key. I request, please get it done so that you are fully ready when GST starts hopefully on the 1st of July. After that, the next very important thing, and I am happy that our experts have talked about it, is the transition. I have also issued instructions, we have discussed the strategy, how to see and help transition. It is very important that you really prepare yourself for the transition provision, which basically means that if you have some stock or other things, please see that it is updated. And there are very clear guidelines, and because the speakers have already dealt, I will not go into it. But for any dealer, for any tax person, it is very important to be thorough with the transition provisions and what are the stocks, etc., that you have to bring into account. Otherwise, you will be put to unnecessary loss. It is as good as losing money if you are not through on that item on that particular day. Many of you may be concerned, because that has been highlighted in the press, is the anti-profiteering clause. See, this is based on the experience of Malaysia. Malaysia is the last big country which has gone for GST. And there, when the taxes were reduced, and because of which the ITC, etc., there was huge, amount which could have the taxes and the rates could have come down. But some of the business people, they tried to take advantage and gain more profit. And therefore, that clause was introduced later on in Malaysia. But learning from their experience, our country has tried to do it in advance as a part of this act itself and the rules. So what, you need not be worried about it. See, like if you see Telangana, most of the food grains we have removed. Earlier there was 5% VAT. Now there is 0% VAT. There is, in GST, they are exempted commodities, zero rated. That means what? That we need to pass on this benefit of the reduced taxation, etc., to the people. And what I will suggest, because many of you are in a particular commodity where the rates have come down, now everybody knows what are the rates other than those 5 items. My request to all of you will be that please look into it, and as a group, suppose you are dealing in a particular commodity, try to see that we really achieve the dreams of our policy makers and pass on the benefit to the people and not get into any unnecessary issues. So, on the behalf of the government of Telangana, I would like to reassure all of you that the government of Telangana sees you as partners. Unless your business grows, unless you do well in your economic activity, in your industry, in your trade, the government will not get it. And I am so happy to share, many of you must have seen the news report today, that our growth has been the highest in the country, more than almost 18%. And you can understand the seriousness about GST and how we want to take everybody and move ahead with you is based on the fact that when the day government of India or the parliament there and the president signed the GST acts, for those acts, same within 2 days we also passed the Telangana State GST Act. So you can understand how serious the whole government, our Chief Minister, everybody is about it. And I can assure you that we are there with you. Any problem of yours, just bring it to our notice. We are there. And I've been going around talking to people and taking even questions that what is that bothering them and if there is anything we can do. And whenever I have come to know of any issue, we have tried to resolve it. So I wish that our country really becomes a great country under the GST regime, and the way we have come up to this spot, this place, and it is so close, just about a month away from us, it gives me a confidence that our country will change for much better. So I thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you all the best. And if there are any questions also, along with though I am not an expert, but I will try to answer from my common sense approach, and also if there is anything I can do, I will definitely note and do it. Thank you, everybody.